thank you, Ama, for joining. And I see we do have Strive up on the screen, and hopefully everyone can see him okay. Big thank you to Strive. Really, really appreciate you making the time and joining us remotely. Some of us here on stage do phone calls, and some of us do Teams calls. So we're doing the team calls here today. Strive, thank you so much for joining, and Ama, thank you so much for making the long journey here today, and it's been wonderful to get to know you, and I'm very excited for this conversation. So, Narya teed up what we're going to talk about is really focused on innovation and impact in the Global South. And when we think about the Global South, many of you here in the room probably know the statistic that 85% of the world's population lives in the Global South. So if we think back to the electricity grid, the visual map that we saw yesterday, Narya referenced this as well, the majority of the low-density areas on the map were situated in the Global South. So there's tremendous opportunity, but there's also tremendous challenges that we need to overcome. And really what we're going to talk about today is how we can get ahead of some of those challenges. Before we go into the conversation, I wanted to talk about why this is also personally, for me, dear to my heart, as someone who worked in the development sector in India, in Tanzania. I've seen firsthand some of the creativity, the resilience, and the vast opportunity that exists in the Global South. So very excited to have some visionary leaders here with us today. So I'm going to start off with a question on technology. So we're going to talk about what the outlook for technology looks like. So Strive, we're going to start with you. And Strive, you may not be able to see the room. There's about 1,500 people here in the room today, and there's a lot of energy and eagerness to hear what you're saying. I want to ask you, Strive, from your vantage point, with all of the work you've done, leading really from mobile connectivity all the way to the AI transformation work that you're doing now. We did catch some of the big announcements that you made last week with NVIDIA. We wanted to ask you, what do you see as the outlook for technology transformation? What do you see on the horizon in terms of the big opportunities, the big trends when it comes to technology?
Well, first of all, thank you so much. It's a great honor to be able to join you. I'm really sorry about the mishap in my travel, which made it difficult for me to be with you. I would have loved to enjoy some of that energy, and it's an honor to share a platform with you. With respect to your question about what we are seeing, coming after Suleiman, it's a bit intimidating. But anyhow, look, we're all at ground zero. And the challenges, the opportunities, the fears, whatever it is that people are feeling in other parts of the world, that's how Africa also sees it. Because we're all really connected. And we are probably more optimistic than most, because we're a continent where the mean age is 19.7. So we're young. We have a lot of young people. And a lot of our young people are really digital natives. When I was scrambling around trying to build mobile networks 30 years ago, they weren't born, half of our population. So they're digital natives. They're ready, they're hungry, they're waiting for this. So Africa is, want to be part of this, and it's going to be part of this.
I think that's fantastic. And to something Mustafa said in the previous discussion as well, really it's nothing if it's not for everyone. And that's really, I know what you're talking about as well. So Ama, over to you. Tell us a little bit about your view on technology. We got a glimpse of it in the video. Tell us how you're using technology for your organization and also for the people and communities that you're serving.
From redefining social structures and to cultural frameworks and even the phase and pace of economic activities, the Global South is reckoning with technology. Like Strive said, our population is young, and so we know firsthand what it feels like not to feel the full effects, both the economic and social benefits that technology has promised to bring to us. But we have hope, because we have seen firsthand what technology is able to do on the continent. I am privileged to work with Opportunity International in rural communities, from Barabanki in India to Dedza in Malawi. And I have seen firsthand what technology is doing with regards to changing the economic livelihoods of the men and especially the women that we serve. For us at Opportunity International, we do not just deploy technology. Our engineering team works to give us technology that is made around the lived experiences of our clients. So, for example, our engineering team has expertise in human-centered design methodologies. And this is where I'm going to say full disclosure. We borrowed that methodology from Microsoft. And our engineering team is made up of individuals with expertise from Microsoft itself. Albert, for us, it's on a shoestring. We can't afford your numbers. So from Paul Essini, who is somewhere in the audience, to our CTO, Greg Nelson, who comes with over 20 years of experience, we are deploying technology that speaks the needs of our clients. I, a few weeks ago, spent 4 weeks in the field, basically revalidating some of the information that we have from smallholder farmers to teachers and proprietors in the field that we give this technology to. Charity begins at home for us. So it means that for us to improve our own AI fluency within our organization, we start in-house. We have an impact accelerator called the CoLab. It's really simple. Once a year, the whole global team of Opportunity International comes together. It doesn't matter your time zone. And we think of ideas that would change the lives of the communities that we serve. Our engineering team then takes these ideas. Last year, when we did it for the first time, we had our staff members from all over the world produce over 100 ideas. Just last 2 weeks, they came up with 200 ideas on how we can use AI to solve the pressing need of the women that I work with in the fields of Malawi. These ideas are then whittled down to about 3 or 4. Currently, we have about 4 main ideas that affect the lives of nano and micro entrepreneurs, smallholder farmers like the video that you just saw, and 1 for teachers, and also for school proprietors. For us, Anu, what we have seen technology do is that it has helped us with skill. We are now able to reach more people faster. It has also given us the possibility to do immediate impact measurement. I now do not have to wait for a month to go back to the field to be able to understand how the technology is impacting the clients. In this regard, we also have humans in the loop, meaning that our FSA, or our Farmer Support Network, which is basically individuals who are farmers within the communities that we work in, who are deploying this technology, interact with the clients that we serve. And then on the back end, Paul and Rich and the rest of the team are able to get real-life data, analyze it, look at the themes, and for the non-techie person like me in the room who's a social scientist, then we are able to have real discussion about how then do we bring the needs of these people to the fore and keep on tweaking our digital products to serve them. Again, using human-centered design, our clients are the center of our design and deployment process.
Yeah, and I want to pick up on something you said. You mentioned, you use the word clients a lot, and I found that very interesting. Tell us about why you call them clients.
I know for us at Opportunity International, we are serving communities that have age-old practices. I'll give an example. I grew up in the market in Accra, Ghana. My mother was a market woman, and they had what we called in that time susu. If you go to the DRC's called tontines, these are informal savings mechanisms where women in a group of about 5 to 10 or more come together, pool their monies together, loan to themselves, or help each other out when they are in trouble. This system predates me. And if you look across the whole world, from Malaysia all the way to South Africa, they have such systems. What I do in my role is that I look for ways in which to augment what is already existing within these spaces. We serve them, and so they are our client at Opportunity International. And I make sure that having that at the back of my mind, I bring tools that will augment them, basically catalyze their strengths, and help them transform. I give the example of Anne, the farmer in the video. She knows how to farm. She's been doing it for more years than I have been born. And what she knows how to do, all I do is bring technology so that with issues like climate change, she's able to jump over those hurdles and get the information she needs to make an informed decision. Most times, what the app tells them is basically validating information they already know. And that's nice to see.
I think that is so fantastic. And first of all, we're going to use the word clients a lot more. I love that. And also just putting the power in the hands of the, power of the technology in the hands of the people and the community. So that's amazing. Strive, we're going to go to you, and we're going to switch gears a little bit to talk about skills and workforce and youth in particular. And by the way, I see Strive here, and I know you all see Strive there, but Strive, can see me as seeing him, so this is why I'm looking here. So when we talk about youth, 42% of the world's youth by 2030 is going to be in Africa. So, tremendous potential there. Strive, you do so much work mentoring individuals, young entrepreneurs across Africa and across the global south. Tell us from your experience, when we think about skills that are needed today, what are some of the skills that are rising to the top in your mind that this young talent needs to be able to build to be resilient for this AI economy?
No, thank you for that. I think first and foremost, for Africa to tap that youth dividend, it has to skill up these young people. Our greatest challenge is creating jobs for them. And so we have to look to these technological breakthroughs, like AI, as tools to speed up and accelerate skills development. And really, this is an area we're very excited about because it's part of the partnership area we've worked with Microsoft for many, many years. I mean, most people, when they think of me in philanthropy, they think of me in my work with my family foundation and Gates and other, Rockefeller and other areas where I've worked. But at the company level, we've worked with Microsoft for decades in the areas of skills training, helping young people access technology. We did an amazing project in Kenya with Microsoft to use the white space and spectrum to help rural access connectivity for more than 200,000 small business people. Because for young people in Africa, everyone is a small business. You're not trained to get a job. You're trained to become an entrepreneur. If you leave school and you're looking for a job, you're not going to get one. But if you go out and you hustle and you bring your friends together, so what we need to fuel that with is skills. Skills, core skills in digital areas, core skills in entrepreneurship, and enabling them to access resources to scale what they're doing. These are challenges that we'll face both as philanthropists, but also as policymakers, because much of this will have to happen within the African states themselves. How do you mobilize the resources so that they can access these? Our challenge today is you in America, in Silicon Valley, if a young person has a great idea, they can access venture capital, seed capital. The term is not even known by most African policymakers. So we haven't created that ecosystem yet. But we're seeing early interest in this area. We have to accelerate that. So thank you for that.
Yeah, thank you so much, Strive. And really, there's this opportunity to accelerate the youth dividend, as you called it, and build the skills capacity of the entire ecosystem. Ama, over to you in terms of the same question around skills and education. What are you seeing as some of the skills that are rising to the top?
I know firsthand, like Strive said, in Africa, everybody is a business person. For the clients that we serve, last week I was in Ghana and I was meeting the proprietor of a low-cost school. She runs her local school private, but at the same time, she also consults for another local school. So she has about 2 or 3 jobs. And I see this across. So for us at Opportunity International, ensuring that we are deploying technology that helps improve the economic livelihoods of the people that we serve is very important. On the education question, Africa really needs for its youth to be able to be future ready, requires for us to have strong education reforms, like Strive was saying. But there are fundamental issues first. A lot of the children are out of the classrooms. Our education finance team does a lot of research, and recently, from one of the reports that we had, 1 in 5 of school-going age children are not in the classroom. Fundamental issue. Again, the data is showing us that there is a need for 38 million extra seats through to 2026. Why are children not in the classroom first to begin with? What are the barriers that are holding up this very vital lifeline for the continent? The way we always do it at Opportunity International is to go back to the community and find ways and means in which we can uplift individuals in there so they can also be the solution that we are looking for. So we work with individuals like Mr. Jimmy in Lugazi in Uganda. He has built a low-cost private school that takes on the children in that community. He also has a cow that he milks every day at 5 a.m. so the kids who come to the school can have a nutritious meal together with the porridge millets that they are drinking. This is how we are deploying technology to help Mr. Jimmy. We have an AI-powered tool that enables him to be able to manage his school effectively. For teachers like Anne, in the DRC, we have another tool using technology that helps her be able to enjoy time affluence. In this case, it means that she has a tool that helps her to be able to lesson plan, saves her extra times to be able to support children in her classroom who have special needs. We cannot talk about equipping children for tomorrow's jobs when they are not in the classrooms today. And for us, that is vital.
Yeah, I think that is powerful. I think so powerful. And really, it's interesting because to equip the students, we need to equip the teachers, and we need to equip the whole ecosystem that is supporting them. So
the children are excited. You would go into schools in Ghana, and at the back of their textbook, there's a QR code. The kids will clamor for their teacher's one phone so they can scan the back of this book and be able to see what is happening. So there's interest. But the challenge is, if they are not in the classroom, then how do you build that skill set? If that child cannot read and write at the very basic level, then as a continent, the most important part of our future, which is our human resource, is being wasted.
yeah, absolutely. And you spoke of time affluence. We are currently a little time famished, so we're going to do two quick lightning round questions. Yes. Maybe we can combine them. I'm going to ask it together. So first is when we think about, I think you and Strive, Ama, you and Strive both talked about really the ecosystem and the whole set of partners that we need to bring together to be able to enable this work. So talk us through who you see if you had, the ability to devise your most ideal partnership table, who would you bring to the table? Who is often missed that we need to be considering? And then on a similar note, the second part of this question is, what is your advice to the nonprofits here, the nonprofit leaders that are in the room? And we'll close out with that. What's your kind of one piece of advice that if you wanted to offer them, especially as they think about how they can use technology to transform their impact? So Strive will go to you, and then we'll go to Ama after.
Sure. Look, First of all, I'm extremely grateful to Microsoft for organizing this profound discussion. And really, I'll turn to them as a partner, because Microsoft is, in many ways, an American company that exemplifies the best of global companies working in Africa. Brad was recently in South Africa and announced a program to skill up 1 million young Africans. This is on top of the investment that they have been doing. This is the most important aspect. We've got to invest in Africa. Without the digital infrastructure, for instance, putting in the data centers that will house our cloud, our AI infrastructure, we can talk about things until the cows come home. What's important is that we have to bring into the room more investment into the African continent. We have the lowest investment in the world. We get, as I've said many times, the FDI into Africa is less than Singapore. Yet we have 1.3 billion people. So we have to invest. So first and foremost, it's great to see companies like Microsoft stepping up to the plate, beginning to do real investments, as well as having the heart, because of the type of people they have on the ground, to look at some of the ways in which their technologies can be leveraged to help those who can't normally access. I'll give you an example. With Microsoft, we developed something called Cloud Mania, which was a platform to help small businesses in Africa access Microsoft products. Until then, they thought they were just for big companies. But today, we have thousands of small businesses beginning to access Microsoft products. This is what we need to do, because we've got to create prosperity in Africa. If you have prosperity, a lot of the challenges we face will be easier to tackle. So that's would really be my pitch, because you're all here. So please help us build on that investment.
Thank you so much, Strive. I think intentional investment, as you said, and the heart that goes with it as well.
I mean,
Ama?
for us, partnership is really critical, because then you're able to bring resources, expertise, and experience. We are humble. We are not a tech company. So when it gets to the point where we know that we need the help, we reach out to like-minded organizations that can support us in our need to be able to take our tools to reach the Annas of the world, the Mr. Jims of the world. I'll give you an example. We have the Ministry of Malawi's agricultural ministry to thank so much for our AI-powered tool, because they gave us authoritative data to feed to our AI, so that when the Malawian farmers look at it, the information is specific to their context. We did the same thing in Ghana, working with the Ghana Development Bank, and also GERSEL, which is a quasi-government institution, to work with farmers in the rice value chain. And then we also had a telco partnership. Currently, we are testing our AI tool in Kenya, together with the biggest telecommunications company in Kenya, Safaricom's Digifarm. We know that it takes time to build these partnerships, finding mission-aligned institutions that are willing to come to the table and to do the work. To answer your question about which table I'll build, I will first put the people that we serve at the head of that table. Too many times as non-for-profits, we forget about the people that we serve. In terms of other stakeholders I'll put at the table, you know what? I will not even think about people. I'll think about the kind of character traits I'd like at the table. I'd like people to come to that table with respect, with humility, with a can-do attitude, because working in Africa and trying to deploy technology, Strive will tell you, it's a challenge, because we have a huge infrastructure deficit, and we also deal with issues of digital illiteracy. So come to that table with respect. Come to that table with humility. Make sure the people that we are serving are sitting at the head of that table. And finally, please let us develop tools that have transformational change for the people that we are going to serve. Because it's important. If I take tools that do not work to those communities, the next time they see me coming, they would stone me.
I think that is a great note to end on, and I know we're out of time, but we have the opportunity to build our own partnership tables here, so take that opportunity while we do that.
And Anu, as you can see, like I've always said, it's so important to look at the clients that we serve. These women know how to build partnerships. They know how to pool their resources together. They know how to get each other to help them with their farming. And I think as a non-profits in this room, we are a strong collective. There is so much happening in our world today that, has a lot of us wondering what is going to happen next. I think it's a great opportunity for us to reimagine the work that we are doing. Look at the people that we serve through famine, through cyclones, through wars. They are still finding opportunities to rise. I'm an Akan woman. I'm loud, obviously. But there is a chant that I grew up as Ghanaians that we do, where we basically leverage the strength of the collective and the voice. And so if you ever watch a football team in Ghana play, you hear somebody say, "Cho boy," and the response is yay. I want you all to do this with me because you have been sitting for too long. So let's rise. Everybody come with me. When I call out, "Cho boy," I want you to respond yay. I want you to take this back to your boardrooms and to your offices so that when times get hard, remember the loud Akan woman who said you need to reimagine the way you work. You want to try it? Yeah. Cho boy. Yay. Cho boy. Yay. Cho boy. Yay. Thank you so much for indulging me. You are fantastic.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Strive. Thank you, Ama. That was a pleasure. Thank you.